The refs are here. The refs are here. The refs are here. The refs are here. Refs are here. The refs are here.
22.5. Book on the crossover. Gets inside and hammers it down. Suns, Booker for the win. Yes! Booker, this is for the win. Wow!
The refs are here indeed. Couldn't take any more of that happy song because it's not a happy day. It's not a happy day, Coach.
Nope.
This isn't a happy game, but we're here.
Nope.
We're excited that everybody is here in the chat. You know, I'm definitely excited about that. And we cannot wait to go over this loss with you guys. I want to just start first by saying normally you don't blame the refs when you lose by 11 points. Was it 11 points?
9.
9 points. You know, you're like, well, you know, it's not a 2-point game. It's how could it? No. Folks, this whole game was a steady diet of the refs looking the other way against the Suns. I mean, I tweeted it. How long before Chris Paul hauls off and jacks one of these refs like Usman did to Masvidal last night? Like, I thought there was going to be a fight between player and ref, let alone technicals. I felt like technicals were definitely going to start flying. But I wanted a fight.
Good call.
These referees went out of their way to swallow their whistle every time the Suns did the right thing and went in the paint and fought for buckets inside. They go in there, they're getting a hand to the back, they're getting shoved to the side, they're getting an actual foul on the wrist, and the refs don't care. It's like the refs absolutely knew, Coach. The refs absolutely knew what the spread was and how close or far they needed to keep this game so that they could make some fucking money off of it. I am fucking livid, Coach. I'm livid. It was all game. Then you have Mikal scoring, taking the ball and handing it to the referee, which is honestly, you don't even want Mikal doing that because you don't want the offense to get the ball so quick.
Larry Fitzgerald is anointed for being the nicest guy ever because he hands the ball to the referee.
Right? He pulls a Fitzgerald, hands it to the referee. The referee says, this sounds like a nice time to call a delay of game. Dude, I've seen players slap the ball in the wrong direction and not get to play a game. Handing it to the referee, I mean, I wish we could do an entire 30
Blake
minutes
Griffin's
breaking
flopping
down.
ass.
I forgot how much he flops, man. I'm back to hating his guts. Please kill me if I ever said I want him to come to the Suns.
You did.
Kill me.
So therefore...
Kill me. I want to say, speaking of kill me, we need to talk about Salty. Salty's doing good. He's home right now. This game was not good for Salty, I'm sure. But I was texting to Salty. You know, let me before I turn it to you, Coach. Let me
go ahead. I got my headphones charged.
Okay,
up.
Let me bless everybody with Salty's salt. Okay, so here's what Salty texted me towards the end of the game. So we were going back and forth about it, and I'm arguing that it's just the refs. The refs are simply the ones keeping us out of it. The refs in the NBA don't want us to be in the position we are, and they certainly don't want us coming into Brooklyn, going tit for tat with them and hitting every shot they hit we can shoot better the way we did the whole game until the refs took it out of our hands. In my opinion, that's what happened, right? I'm telling Salt that. And, you know, he says, he goes, this is trash. There's no point in watching the NBA. I said, dude, it felt like a WWF match, right? Like the only thing missing and this is going to show our age, is somebody from Generation X coming down to the court and saying, "Suck it, sons." That's the only thing that was different from a WWF match. And no one fell through a cage, and no one got a chair broken over their back. That's it. This thing was rigged. And I hate people that say that it's rigged. I hate when people blame their losses on refs. If you watch this game, there were several times when the announcers were even saying, "Oh, Booker might have had an actual argument for that one. I think he got fouled." Yeah,
I mean, that's a lot coming from Doris Burke.
I know. Sorry. So I said it felt like a WWF match. And he said the NBA is exactly that. Rigged ass league. Bad ratings for a reason. It will be LA and Brooklyn. Two big markets just like they want. Super teams galore. And he said, might save myself time and misery and just stop watching the NBA now. He's not really going to do that, folks. Salty's not going to do that. He's just this is the level of salt that flows when you get effed over by the refs. Coach, please take it away, man. I had to get all that ranting out.
He's completely right. What the fuck is the point? What is the point? This is exactly what happened in the damn Milwaukee game. They actually let us play defense in the first half against Embiid and the Sixers, which I couldn't believe, and it was actually a joy to watch. And now they come back with this shit. ESPN was blowing the whole Nets organization for finding Joe Harris. They were just blowing him the whole game. And oh my gosh, they said it a million times, the damn GM of the Nets. And they've got all these damn all-stars over there, and that's what they're talking about. And then KD enters the game. Oh, my God. KD, the way he can maneuver his body and do all this, oh, my God, it's absolutely amazing. And we were up 10 or 12 at that point, dude. And they're blowing the whole Nets team, their front office, everything. Every time they went away to commercial, what are they showing? Something Kyrie or KD did. They go to halftime. What are the first things they talk about? Kyrie and KD. Absolutely zero talk about how well that we've done this year, how we're supposed to be the Cinderella team coming in this year, right? Absolutely nothing. And then you start talking about the refs, and it was case in point with the Mikal Bridges delay of game. What the hell is the point of watching? Why do we even give a fuck? Why do we even care, man? This is what they have been doing for years. We just haven't been in a position to notice it or really take any action or feel the effect of it. But this is what they did to the Suns for fucking years. This happened over and over. This was Bruce Bowen stepping on the back of your heel and then him getting called for the foul against him. This is that over and over and over. I am so tired of this shit for a game that I love, and they just want to anoint and hand them the damn championship already. The New Jersey, I mean, or Brooklyn, whoever. It doesn't even fucking matter who they are. They're just going to give it to them because. Now, if you want to talk player to player, comps, their talent level versus ours, like that's a different conversation. We can have a legitimate basketball discussion.
Absolutely. And of course, today we're going to give it to the Nets. Are you not going to give it to the Nets? I mean, obviously they have the top end talent. Okay. They do.
Yeah, no one's going to say they don't. Absolutely. End,
I might feel like the Suns have a little bit more depth, but that's an argument that you can have. Is that even important when you've got the top end talent that you do?
When you got the top end refs in your pocket, it doesn't matter.
So look, David Williams, Nets fan, LMAOing. That's fair, bro. Come in here and laugh that, that we're upset about the refs, but that's fine, man. Like, this wasn't a situation where the refs screwed us like the Nuggets, where they allowed Williams. Sorry, go ahead.
If Nets fans are going to come in here and laugh, I'm going to laugh the fuck at you, dude. You are rooting for a team that was put together by a bunch of superstars, and that's fine. Go ahead and root for that. That is the worst thing in sports to fucking do. That is the worst thing in sports to do. But you're gonna laugh against an actual organic team like this, where most of the team is draft picks. You got a guy like Jay Crowder, who's a journeyman. Okay, absolute journeyman. And then you got the one trade that we made for somebody in Chris Paul. You're going to laugh against an organic team, which is actually good for sports. The Warriors, actually kind of good because most of their guys were drafted by the Warriors. That's fine. But you're going to go ahead and you're going to root for a hardcore team like this and then come into an Organic Teams podcast and do this? Don't do that. It's bad for sports what is happening to the Nets.
That's fair, man. But like, look at it this way. What if he's a Nets fan who grew up Nets, suffered through a lot of their trials. I don't think they've ever won anything necessarily. And now he just lucked into having a super team. You can't hate. I can't hate on the guy for being a Nets fan, for rooting.
I don't think a true Nets fan would be a Nets fan after they moved to Brooklyn, would they?
Maybe. I mean, I would like the Suns if the Suns ever move to Vegas or something. I don't think that'll ever happen. But if they did, I'd still probably rock with the Suns.
I can't even. That's a wild thing to even think about. Yeah,
you don't. You know what I'm saying? But that's fine, David. You're. We'll say you're a legitimate Nets fan. I will question your basketball IQ and I will question your intellectual honesty if you watch this game and are actually saying that the refs didn't help you at every turn. That's where I want to go with it. Like, be a Nets fan, enjoy your new team. I'm, good for you. You lucked into a super team, but if you're going to sit there and watch the same game that us Suns fans just watched, like if we were getting those calls, Coach and I would be on the podcast today saying, man, why were the refs really helped us? Like the refs really had our back tonight. Like there was a lot of times I felt like, wouldn't we, Coach?
Yes, but Iverson Vlogs was just like, bro, Mike James was getting calls. Like, come on, man.
Did he ever get any calls when he played for the Suns? Because I don't remember.
Steve Nash has gotten more calls his way in this game than he ever did in his Suns uniform.
Absolutely. Listen, people, the NBA has an agenda. The NBA writers, the NBA
national media
higher up.
Yeah.
They live on the East Coast and they live on the West Coast. Do you think they want to stop in the desert for the finals? Do you think these referees want to spend a 7-game series half of the time in the desert where it's 126 degrees 5 days in a row? No, they want to be in Brooklyn. They want to be out in Soho eating their bagels, their delicious New York bagels and their delicious New York pizza, circle jerking each other. They want to be in LA, circle jerking with LeBron. No one has an interest in the Suns making it anywhere. They have a great interest in the Brooklyn Nets making it somewhere. And you could see that tonight, dude. I mean, the broadcast, the reffing, that was the worst reffing game. And we have seen some insane reffed games, haven't we, Coach?
Absolutely.
This year alone.
A few games ago against Milwaukee is one.
Yeah, so Burner says, who would be the NBA's ideal finals matchup? Lakers versus Nets? Absolutely.
Lakers and Nets.
Absolutely.
I am still shocked that David Stern stepped in with that Chris Paul to the Lakers trade and was like, no. I couldn't believe they did that.
He had to because he was not only – you say Adam Silver?
No, this was David Stern at the time.
Okay, you said David Stern. Okay, yeah. So David Stern was not just the commissioner. At that moment in time, for a few months, he was the Hornets' acting GM. So he had to act in the best interest as a GM, and no smart GM was going to link up Chris Paul with Kobe. So it wasn't just like Adam Silver stepping in and saying, hey, guys, no, you guys can't do that trade. He was also the acting GM. So I just like to point that out because a lot of people get that confused.
It's true.
Let's talk about the game, man. We've talked about the refs long enough. I'm a stab a ref. I think Salt will too.
I think every Suns player will.
This game started out with Booker and Kyrie looking like extreme polar opposites. Booker getting his shit beat by Jeff Green, missing wide open, close little floater, missing his first jump, just miss. Kyrie comes out, splat, crossover, splat. Like the first 9 points, I think 7 or 9 points was all him. Actually, the first 7.
Like it was like 14 out of the first 16 or something ridiculous.
I knew something was bad because it felt like if KD comes in and plays anywhere near what he can, we're going to be in trouble because they are so hot and we're going to have to keep up tonight. And we just couldn't keep up the whole night. Once the refs made it clear, hey, stay down, Suns. We don't want you in this game. Stay on the mat, Suns. Delay of game, Mikhail. Stay on the ground. Stop hitting threes, Book. Book, you don't hit open threes. That was the game tonight. But Booker and Kyrie, man, crazy how opposite they looked. It was a bad note to start the game on. What were you thinking in that moment?
Yeah, I guess it was nice to see Devin Booker kind of come out of his slump, but I have such high expectations for Booker that, I mean, shooting 12 of 24 for 36, 4 for 5 from 3, that was really nice and whatnot. The 36 points is great, but I don't know. I just expected maybe just a little bit more playmaking. I thought some of his on-ball defense was fairly decent. DeAndre Ayton did well, 20 and 13. I don't have anything negative to say about him, except there was a couple times in the fourth quarter he was supposed to do something and didn't. We turned it over, and the whole bench was looking at him like this, like the whole bench knew, and he didn't. Cam Johnson, 1 for 5 from 3. Mikal Bridges, 0 for 4 from 3. Those two dudes, like, they've got to hit shots. If they're not going to hit shots, we're going to lose. They've got to pick it up. And sadly, Frank Kaminsky is an upgrade over Saric at this point. We all saw it tonight.
Thank you. I wrote,
and Torrey Craig was a baller too.
I wrote Frank over Dario. I never thought I'd say that. But I mean, I'm starting to mean Frank over Dario permanently. I'm saying Frank over Dario for the time going forward. Not just unless Dario comes in and shows me something. He's going to have to show me a lot. I mean, Frank wasn't amazing tonight, but he was competent. Dario has not been competent. So I do want to get to this because Roy has a question. He says, did Paul drop Blake today? So no, I thought it was. I got really excited. I rewound it. That was another flippity flop that Blake should absolutely be fined for. He should be fined for at least 3. They fined now, coach.
It's Brooklyn. They won't. They want them to win. I don't know why.
Take
but they
some
want
money
them to
from
win.
him.
Why do they want Brooklyn to win? Wait, hold on. Why does the national media want Brooklyn to win? They're not like a powerhouse. I don't get it.
Because they're in a giant market. Any sort of New York team doing anything.
But they're not like from there. They just moved there a few years ago.
But they're in Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? Where you get the idea? Concrete jungles where dreams are made of.
Yeah.
You know? This is where these people live. This is where they go to school. They have an actual rooting interest. Coach, it would be like if you and me got hired by ESPN, but we didn't tell nobody we were Suns fans. We'd be out here like sneak rooting for, but they're all in it because they're all bi-coastal.
Yeah.
Ain't no writers from Phoenix getting a job at ESPN. Come on. I'm gonna stab a ref, coach. Don't let me get in a room. Don't let me get in a room with a coach or with a ref.
Facts.
Don't let me get in a room with fucking Steve Nash, bro. I'm still so salty at Nash. So salty at Nash. He's turned into the biggest front runner, man. Goes to a front running team with the Lakers.
Yep.
To try to snag a title. Honestly, I'm glad he didn't. And then
don't deserve it.
Then goes to the Warriors. Oh, hey, Warriors! I see you guys are going 73
No, I'm going to fight you on that one because that's where him and his kids lived, and that was just the closest NBA team.
How convenient.
Well, he did go to Santa Clara College. That's why he was out there.
I'm a stab a ref. Burner says it perfect. I knew Gabe was a sociopath. The sociopath will come out during losses, bro.
Not just losses. It's losses like this. It's losses to the agenda.
Okay, Iverson, great question and great point. I just don't understand, man. What do we do to the refs? Did we hurt their feelings or something? Did Booker or Paul cuss them out? Okay, Chris Paul has always been anti-ref. He's always had a thing with refs. Remember that thing with that female ref, like right when she kind of came into the league, like one of the first female refs, and he was kind of like stepping on her toes a little bit, and he might have been seeming like a little bit disrespectful or whatnot. Like, he's always been a barker. Devin Booker is a barker. You put these two on the same team and you never give them calls, they are antagonists to the refs. I will give them that. What did Booker say in his post game the other day? Disrespectful. They said, Dwayne Rankin, I believe, asked him, he goes, so, how do you feel about, these calls you feel like you're not getting, and, blah, blah, going to the rim and fighting through contact. And how do you describe the feeling? He says, it's just disrespectful. So to answer your question, Iverson, he's in post games telling the referees that they're disrespectful to him, that they're disrespecting his greatness. And I think the refs are like, you know what? F you. We want to go to New York in the offseason or in the playoffs. We don't want to come to Phoenix. We don't like you. You don't make us any money. Fuck the refs, bro. I'm done with them, man. Something has to happen, man. Like, these refs need to get fined. I don't know, man. Oh, bro, I got a headache from this game, man. Anybody else get an actual headache watching this game?
Dude, for me, it was all going to be bad at the start when they were all just talking about the Nets. There was literally zero Suns talk in that national broadcast today. It was all blowing the Nets, dude.
Towards the end, they're like, oh, the Nets did everything they could to hang in there as long as they could, but they were just overpowered. Like, just draw them naked, like on the Titanic when Jack drew. Like, you guys are so horny for this team, and I get it. Like, we've already talked about why they are, but it's when the refs are that blatant because they know no one's going to do anything about it. That's why I want fines. I just want some sort of like pacification, like, hey, Gabe Vaughn, you were right. Like, we see what happened, and they got some money taken from them. I'll take it. I'm not asking them to, give us a win or replay the game. It is what it is.
One thing that it does kind of show playing some of these teams, it just feels like Phoenix is not at that level. And then I think when I stop thinking about the refs and I think about that, it just deflates me even more because Mikal Bridges is so inconsistent. He's so deadly.
I'm gonna let you go. Bro. I just want to tell you what I wrote down about him, and and then you tell me what you think. Mikal Bridges has lost all the offensive mojo he had earlier in the year. It's all gone. He's back to square one as a rookie offensive player. Am I wrong?
He was hitting at a ridiculous clip from three, right, to start the year. He's now at 40%, and he's just dipping down and down and down. He's just going down. His field goal percentage is down also. That's been going down. He's almost at where he was last year. I don't understand the inconsistency from him. I mean, I guess if you want to go to a salary cap argument, like, he's not going to require a max because he can't shut anybody down, and he ain't consistent either. So, I mean, at least from that point of view, that'll be nice. But I don't know what's going on with him, man. Why is it so inconsistent? Is it this season? I mean, there's more injuries than ever before. You see weird things happening in the NBA. Is it mental. This weird COVID season? Mental. I think it's mental. Absolutely.
Shooting
people
is
are going to make
people
are going to make excuses, but I think that's what it is. Yes, and Javon Carter was awful tonight, but he's played really well as of recently.
He has, he was definitely taking a few more threes a little quicker than I would like him to, but we know he falls in love with his three when it's going.
I mean, we saw Langston Galloway do 1 for 8s too. So we should play Galloway over Javon is not an accurate argument because Javon is a way better player on defense. A 3-pointer, I'd still rather have Langston shoot an open 3 than Javon. But
what'd you think of Master Splinter tonight? Because I thought he looked pretty good. I would have liked to have seen him on the court more.
I thought he looked okay. I thought there was times where he he pushed his own agenda as opposed to playing within the offense, and I think that got him in trouble. I mean, he shot 2 for 6. That's nothing great. I really think Chris Paul just played a piss poor game, dude. 6 turnovers.
Dude, can I tell you something?
5 of 11.
I watched this game with my fiance's mom. My fiance's a night nurse. She's sleeping today because she's just like trying to get caught up on sleep. But her mom's in town, and so we were watching the game. She does not watch basketball, period, like at all. Like she was like, "What does BKN mean?" I'm like, "Brooklyn," you know, like it's like to that level, right? She watched the whole game with me, whole game, because it's interesting, man. Even if you don't watch basketball, these two teams hitting shots like this, pow, pow, pow. That's the type of shit that's intoxicating basketball, period. And she was watching it, enjoying it. But towards the end of the game, she goes like several times. She goes, number 3, he needs to give someone else an opportunity. And I was like, well, like he's, you know, and I'm trying to make excuses. And she's like, I know I don't watch basketball, but she goes, it's just not his night. And I don't see why other players aren't getting a chance to see if maybe it's their night. And I'm like, I mean, you don't do that to Chris Paul. You don't do that. But, she, you know.
What a way to put it in perspective, though, huh?
Yeah. From, you know, with no love for him, no admiration. She doesn't know him from Adam, bro. She doesn't know that he's the point guard. All she can see is, why won't he let other people shoot? And my question is, why isn't 9 for 12 DeAndre Ayton taking 10 more shots?
I agree completely. He had trouble getting post-ups, though, bro. He was having trouble posting Landry Shamet today. He couldn't get open enough to get a good post to get the ball. There was 3 or 4 times where they just couldn't get it to him because he was doing a stupid-ass post.
Oh, and then so Roy says, does she know Booker? LOL. Same thing. She goes, why are they allowing him to shoot the ball so much?
And
funny. I go, well, you know, he's the best player on the team. So, you know, odds are if anyone should be taking the shots, it should be him. She goes, but he keeps missing. She goes, I don't understand how he's so like, basically she was alluding to him being arrogant to feel the right to just take shots from wherever, whenever, because it's like, clearly it's not your night. Why aren't you allowing other people to? It's a different perspective.
This was a really bad showing for a national TV audience for the whole team that isn't named Torrey Craig.
Roy says, get her on the podcast. Oh, man. Yo. This is an ugly game, bro, but I'm down to talk about it. I got a headache from the game, but I'm down to break it down from every angle. I don't care. I mean, you want to do positives, you want to do a spin. You got any positives you can think other than we don't have to give Michaela a max contract now, and that's not happening?
Positive spins. Frank Kaminsky and Torrey Craig. I am this close to being like, start Craig over Mikhail.
Ooh,
I am this close.
Can you imagine Mikhail coming off the bench again with that fire under him of having to prove himself again? Craig
just goes 100% all the time, man.
And he's got a body. And he's got a little bit of wiggle. He's got an IQ. I was
anointing him earlier in the year. Mikhail being like, if this dude can find a way to get 20 to 25 points a game, he's an all-star, an absolute like second, third teamer too. He's not locking anybody up, and that's what his main focus is supposed to be. He's supposed to be the defensive stopper on the team.
When we got him, Coach, I was thinking, hopefully he can take some of Nader's minutes. Hopefully he can work Nader out of this rotation, because it seemed like Monty refused to get rid of Nader. He loved Nader. And then it started to get a little bit better, where it's like, okay, yeah. He's definitely.
And then like 2 straight games, Nader just imploded completely.
Yeah. But I just feel like now the conversation around Craig is turning into he's important to this team. He's vital to this team. He might be a key to this team's success.
He's 30 though.
I'm just saying this year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying going forward. 30 is a baby, bro. Come on, I'm 34. Don't do me like that.
So am I.
Chris Paul's 35.
Mm-hmm.
Craig hasn't gotten a lot of miles on his legs because he ain't really got a lot of minutes this far through his career. Right. I feel like he's a young 30. Is he that important to this team to where we can't afford to lose him? Because I feel that way.
I was gonna bring it up, but who just said it? Vlogs was like, Craig gets us a lot of extra possessions and rebounds, especially in the offensive end, and I completely agree. Like, he just goes up and he snatches them bitches out the air. You know what I mean? And he goes up and he taps a whole bunch. Like, Mikal has an innate ability to be able to cut and everything, but I don't see him being that dog that Torrey Craig is turning into.
Who?
I don't see Mikal Bridges being that dog that Torrey Craig is. Do you see that? I see more of a finesse player now.
Right now, no. But I will tell you that I have seen more of Mikal playing at a high level than I've seen of Craig playing at a high level.
That's fair. Sure.
Right? So my gut is to stick with Mikal over Craig. I just can't believe how good he is for this team. Like, Stephen Priestley from the Nuggets podcast talked to us about how anything you get offensively from Craig is just icing on the cake. Don't expect anything offensively. Anything he does, take it as almost like a blessing. Well, that's changed. You put him in this Suns format where it's free flying, free flowing. His mind is different now. He's a lot clearer. You can see him pulling the trigger real quick. It's like, oh, you're going to give me enough to get my shot off? Well, then I'm shooting. Not should I, could I, would I. Shooting. And that shit is going in. We looked it up the other day because Romp had a question about, oh, he can't really be that good. 43.8% from three lately.
2 for 4 today.
50 today. So that's gone up. He's special, man. David Balin says, what are you guys, 30 plus? Oh, that makes sense, LOL. Yo, come on, man. Check out my... That
means we've probably watched way more basketball than you. I've forgotten about more basketball than you know.
Ooh, David, take that on the chin. Just kidding. We love you. Subscribe, please, and hit the like button. I've had too much black coffee. It's not helping my...
I need some. I'm salty. Anybody that comes at me today, I'm attacking. Hey, does anybody know who Jordan Karchner is on Twitter? What a clown.
I feel like I've heard his name.
Anyways, if any of you guys know, please enlighten me. Anyways, go ahead.
I can't remember what I was going to say. Let me just go to my notes here. I mean, you want to keep talking, Aiton? I got a question for you. I got a question for the chat. Who's uglier, Landry Shamet or Tyler Johnson? Because they are really going neck and neck.
I saw the funniest ass tweet, and this will explain it perfectly. Of course, it said, "Of course, Tyler Johnson's hitting threes today. He couldn't hit the broadside of what is it? The Schrute Farm beat barn when he was with the Suns because he looked like Mose. That explains it right there. He couldn't hit the broadside of Dwight Schrute Beat Farm's barn.
But Landry. Okay, so Roy says Landry Shamet. Bro, they're both just. It's like, okay, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's not a bad looking guy. Okay, but this is just a random rant. Why won't he shave his head? I've got an issue with Chris Paul not shaving his head. I think Chris Paul is just on the brink of having enough hair to say that he still has hair.
Same with Bron.
Bron, let it go, bro. LeBron is the worst offender. But Durant, nobody talks about how bad Durant's hair is, bro. That shit is atrocious. You don't have hair, Durant. You have remnants of hair. And this must all just like go in one ear and out the other for you, Coach, because you got a beautiful head of hair. Show the podcast that hair. How old are you, Coach?
34. I got
Yeah.
a little going back there.
You
I
got it
guess.
all, bro. You got it all. You know? But I hate Durant's hair. I want to be on record as saying shave it.
What are
Shave
your
it 5 years ago.
I want to turn the convo here to the thing that I just hate most in sports, and I already touched on it earlier. What are your thoughts on all-star teams? I'm talking about the 04 Lakers with Peyton and Karl Malone. The 2007 or 2008 Eagles when they signed Nnamdi Asomugha, Vince Young, and there was a couple other all-stars that they signed, or maybe it was Michael Vick was the backup then. You know what I mean? But then you get fucking LeBron going to Miami. Then you get AD going to the Lakers. Like, what are your thoughts on those teams? Those types of teams, I guess.
Before I answer that, I don't want to
Nash
forget.
and Dwight and Kobe.
I don't want to forget. I won't forget the question. Okay. Roy says, should Booker go back to the rookie cut? I just want to say that Salty's been saying he needs that line in his head bad.
The 2 lines.
I agree. He should go with like 5 lines, get that mojo back. Okay, so how do I feel about these super teams, the way they've been doing it? Well, it used to be different with that Lakers team and other teams that always tried it. It used to be too late, right? Because these guys would wait too late in their careers, a la LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin. And then
I mean, you can even go back to Charles Barkley going to the Rockets with an old Clyde Drexler, old Hakeem. They went to the playoffs, but they never got anything. Yeah. Right.
Biggest example to me was when Shaq. No, sorry. They didn't have Shaq. It was just Kobe and Powell and Karl Malone and Gary
they had
Payton.
Shaq then. No, they had Shaq then. That was Shaq's last year before he went to Miami.
So when that team didn't win it, I thought it didn't matter. I thought it couldn't happen, but then
it's because the Pistons beat them and who the Pistons were, right?
Right.
They didn't have the all-star.
They wanted to load up. So, but then it changed when the Celtics did it, because they did it when the players had just enough time left in their careers to really mean something, with KG, The Truth, and Ray Allen. And Rondo.
So those were trades and not free agents. Does that change your perspective on that? They traded for Ray and KG.
So that makes me feel better about the Boston situation. That was more of a Ryan McDonough special. Just kidding. It was Danny Ainge, and we thought we were getting the brains of that operation. We thought that McDonough had anything to do with it. He was probably getting Ainge coffee.
Homie was assistant GM. What are you really doing? Come on.
So I greatly dislike when they do this, but I have been listening to the argument, and it's a tough argument. Guys, tell me what you think about this argument for the super teams. What do you hear about? What do you think of when I tell you Dan Marino?
Legendary and unfortunate that he didn't get a ring.
What do you think of when I tell you the name Barkley?
Same thing, right?
Ewing.
Same thing.
So these players said, okay, you guys are going to grade me and put me in echelons only around the fact of whether or not I have a ring. You know? So I'll get a ring. I'll go get a ring. So it's like they've been kind of put in this situation. Either you get looked at, your entire legacy is greatly diminished, like Dame's will be. Unfortunately, I still think Dame might at some point be able to do something for the Blazers and maybe get a ring if, the cards fell right for them. But Dame's going to be diminished, and we all know how great Dame is. So, but they're not going to talk about him the way that they're going to talk about Steph. They're not going to talk about him the way that they're not going to talk about CP3 the way they talk about Steph. It's going to be this but. So these players, it's either you get the but attached to your career, you go into the Hall of Fame with an asterisk by your name that says never won title, or you go play with your best friend. And you go rattle off multiple titles. And it's already been made okay. Because Bron did it. KD left a team that got beat by that team for that team. And we're all back to sucking KD's dick, are we not? As a society, there's no stigma. So I can't really blame these players for doing it. But I hate it. If that answers your question.
I get it from the player's side. I understand it. It kind of doesn't remind me, but I'll use the college transfer portal now. How everybody, you hit a little bit of adversity and you're gonna force your way out. I think that the way Blake Griffin did it and act like the dude couldn't dunk and then comes in and does all this shit for Brooklyn is absolute garbage. And unfortunately, he can't be held accountable for quitting. Same with Harden. Same with Kyrie. I hate how Kyrie quit on Cleveland, forced his way out because he wanted to be the man. And I know a lot about what happened with him in Boston because I know somebody there. And I hate the way that he did it. And then these players get fucking anointed for that, dude. Oh, look at Kyrie. He did this, and this. Okay, well, are we not going to talk about him quitting on the other teams and forcing his way out? We're not going to bring that up. We're just going to talk about how great he was scoring 42 points, and we're going to kiss his ass. That's what we're going to talk about. Like, I think that's a trash mindset. Now, if you want to put it in terms of you and me, our job, right? You and I at any time can quit our job, right? That's good. We have that power, and we can go find a new job. Should those players be allowed to do so? It's their life. I think they absolutely should. But you want to know the difference? We're not making fucking $40 million a year. We're not gods to some kid in the stand that's watching him that his dad just bought his jersey for the first time. There's a huge, huge difference. And I go back to what Charles Barkley said. He's like, I'm not the one that you need to be looking up to. I'm not your kid's mentors or whatever. It's like, no, that's exactly what you are in this position. And I just can't help but feel like all these guys are getting a little diversity their way and they're just quitting. It's different for you and me, though. We have to leave our job to go from 35,000 to 45,000. 2 years later, you got to leave again if you want to get 55 to 60. Or you got to do something extremely amazing just to keep bumping up and hopefully get to six figures someday, right?
Right.
That's what we have to do. These guys don't have to do that. They get that the second they walk on the court. It's just way different. So I hate how the media puts them. At the same time, I'm like, yeah, players do deserve to leave and go do whatever they need to do because it's a free country and all that stuff. It's just when you're in the NBA, the NFL, MLB, it's just way, way different. And for people to do that and then get anointed, get their ass kissed left and right, I think it's so wrong and so trashy. I hope to God the Nets do not win this year. But man, could you imagine that team now with Harden today?
Shit. Okay, so
we went up when all those dudes were out, when KD and Kyrie were out, and Mike James came in. That's when Harden takes over.
My mother-in-law, like I said, I'm watching the game with her, and at the end of the game, I'm like laughing, and I'm not in a bad mood, and I think she could kind of tell like it was surprising that I'm not like more angry about a loss. But I said, let me explain to you something. I said, you see this guy here, and I point to Kyrie, and I pause it, and I'm like, Durant. These are two of, in my opinion, top 5 players.
Yes.
In the NBA. 2 of the top 5. So they have another player who's not playing today that you didn't see who is arguably better than them. So I'm not that mad because this is a game you can accept losing. You can accept losing to greatness. I was just upset about the refs.
On an even keel playing level, yes. Whatever. I can't.
You're like on an even field.
On an even playing.
So I want to shout out the chat. Romp, what's going on, man? Jaleed Khan, Roy, Iverson, Elixity, Charles. Can you scroll up the chat? Mine's kind of bugging. David Byline, can you shout everybody out, man?
Yeah, I'm just Burner had a good question. Who do you? I was typing it out, but I'll just answer it. And then I'll hit you guys up. He said, who stabbed their team in the back even more? I said KD on here. I got to say Harden, not even for what he did for the Rockets, for wanting to push his way off of OKC to begin with, because he wanted to be the man, go to the Rockets, did absolutely everything for that franchise, and then still wasn't happy for everything that he got. And
got himself fat
boy Harden.
fat.
And then the very first game, he's all of a sudden skinny. You know, Harden. That's why I fucking hate the Nets, dude. It's what Kyrie did. It's what KD did, and what Harden
You're
did.
winning me over, coach.
Because it's true.
Now
and
I'm getting
The
mad.
truth hurts. It
You're
sucks.
right.
And then they have the refs in their pocket. And then it's fucking Steve Nash coaching them, who went to the Lakers. And then it's Mike D'Antoni, who refused to play any defense whatsoever.
And then the refs can't even call it fair and let them have to win as superior team.
So
like, just make them win.
God damn it! All right,
don't guide them through it like a coyote across the fucking border.
No. Sports said the Sport Shop. Sorry, said Kawhi Leonard. I don't know about that because I'm curious about the legitimacy of what he was polling with the Spurs. I'm curious about that now, and what he left in free agency from Toronto, and they picked him up knowing he had 1 year left, and this was probably going to happen. I for one cannot believe Kawhi left after giving Toronto that ship. Like, he would have been treated like a king throughout. Now he's battling in LA, and everybody has forgotten about him. Like, I wouldn't have done that, but I'm not Kawhi. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but I want to know the legitimacy of what happened with the Spurs and if he was really injured or wasn't and all that stuff. So I don't know. But leaving Toronto, I don't like. But I'm the dude that always roots for the underdog. You know what I mean? I'm rooting for UMBC, the Golden Retrievers in the fucking NCAA tournament, hardcore. You know what I mean? That's me. I'm the little guy. But I feel like every sports fan's a little guy. 99% of sports fans are the little guy, right?
Yeah.
So shout out Vlogs, Iverson, Knows Sport Shop. Burner, thank you guys. Romp, of course. Maybe we need to get him here because I'm running out of things to say that aren't just pissing everybody off.
No, you're good.
Derek Camacho, shout out. Marco, Buddy the Elf is in here. He said, "Can we get Ricky Rubio as a backup point guard of Brooklyn?"
That would be the shit. That would be unbelievable.
Who else do we got? Elixity, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining. Anybody else that I missed, just please hit us up in the chat. Please hit S if I did not say your name. David Balin is in there. Ty. How many we got watching right now? I see 18 on YouTube only.
Yeah, it's not that much, but shout out to everybody for coming out and watching. Like, one thing we've noticed on this podcast is losses, we take a hit. Blazers Uprise, however, they take a loss and they've got it's juices their chat up. So I would like it to get to that, man. I would love it. Come in here when you're salty, man. Come watch this show when you're salty. It's not more fun, but it's a different type of fun. What's up, Coach?
Grizzlies beat Blazers while we were on 120 to 113, dude. Yeah. Blazers are just reeling right now.
They really are, man. They've got to fire that coach. But
okay, so
it's too late in the year to fire him.
So if they go another year or two like this and Dame still hasn't done anything and he wants out, would you blame? I just got done on a rant saying I hate it when they do that, but would you blame a guy like Dame Lillard at this point in his career? Like, I didn't blame KG when he wanted out. I didn't blame LeBron when he wanted out. It's how he wanted out.
Dame has boxed himself in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, right? He's made himself that guy who's loyal. He can't go now. He can't do it. He could. He won't, because he's made his bed and he's laying in it. And I respect him for it. I don't want him to leave the Blazers. I don't. And he won't, because he's made it an issue to let everyone know, I'm that guy who stays with my city. I don't leave. I don't go join super teams. I want to win here.
That's true.
I like these people. I have their back. I'm a throwback. He can't do it now. KD never said nothing like that. KD was getting mad at the OKC press for asking him tough questions. That's why everybody likes Dame. I have yet to meet a person that doesn't like Dame Lillard. Because everyone wishes that, all of us Suns fans, it kind of feels like that's over now. But didn't we go through a period where with Booker, we were terrified he was going to leave us? I don't think he's going to leave now. I think he realizes now that if he doesn't get anywhere, it's his fault, not ours, because we've given him everything that he could possibly need. And Phoenix is a beautiful city. It doesn't have the ocean, but that's the only thing it's missing. It's gorgeous. It has mountains. Dude, the cacti, the sunsets, the weather for like 8 months a year. The women, coach.
All the sports you could ever want.
cost
All
of
the big
living.
institutions. You can.
He's a
The real
god
estate
there.
is
He
so
don't need
cheap
to
there
leave.
and considering.
He don't need to leave. He don't need to leave. He's not going to leave. I really don't think he's going to leave.
Man,
Coach, I was hoping I could get your coaching eye to break down a prospect that the Suns have really been looking hard at. You know, it's guy was just at the gym hitting some shots, and I was hoping you could break down, this shooting form. You see the flick of the wrist. I just think that this guy.
what a lazy ass player! Look at him just lazily walk to the ball, no hustle or nothing.
He's got to get set. He's a catch and shoot guy. He doesn't want to be moving too much. I assume. But we've seen 2 in a row. Let's see if he can make it 3. The flick of the wrist, it's undeniable.
There's a little jog there.
I heard he played a lot of basketball earlier the night before, and so his legs were dead. Not too dead to stop him from cashing in threes. Now, Torrey from the Blazers Uprise has a video of him hitting 7 in a row, but that is from the college line. You can see I've stepped past the college line, back to NBA for all 5 3-pointers. I mean, not me, whoever this guy is, whoever that is. Do the Suns give him a 10-day? Has he already taken Nader's spot in the rotation?
If you can play Javon Carter one-on-one and win, I would say that you need a contract.
So, on a real note, though, bro, you got to get them ankles right, because it's going to happen at some point. Torrey and Eric from Blazers Uprise have called us out, all right? They want to play 3-on-3. With Salty's situation, it might be 2-on-2. You and me, bro, 2v2 versus Torrey and Eric. I mean, I love those guys, but I'll eat their asses, bro.
We got to go to three game, best of 3 to 31 points, 1s and 2s.
Yo, you and me in
take backs, and always take backs.
You and me in Suns jerseys, them in Portland jerseys. He was Torrey was saying that it would be the best. He's saying it would be the best content they've ever made.
Next year, when we start up our donations, we're gonna make sure that we can all travel to Portland first class, and we'll go to a Portland Suns game, and then some point during our trip, we'll have a battle for podcast supremacy.
What about playoffs? Say we meet them in the playoffs, and COVID is in Texas, we stopped with the masks, and shockingly, our numbers are going way down. So let's just say that happens throughout the rest of the country. And people are not as afraid of COVID late in the playoffs or mid playoff, like first round, and they've got many squads.
They've got gyms closed here. I can't even get into a gym to shoot. They're closed here.
Man,
I know.
I could carry you. I think I could carry you. All I need is your IQ. All right.
Just set me up in the pick and roll. I'll feed you. I got
a Steve
buddy.
Nash jersey for you. You have an Amari jersey, right? That I can wear.
Facts.
It has to be done, bro. Burner says have Geek as the cheerleader with a mini skirt. No. Geek is playing, bro. Like if we could get a 3-on-3 and sub in for Salt if he can't go, sub in Geek, bro. That's 3-way splash, bros. That's KD, Steph, and Clay. Do they even have a third?
I don't know who their third would be. Maybe they'll pull a random fan. Let me get my conditioning up, and I am game.
I'll tape your ankles for you and everything, bro. Like we'll be ready to go. Just
seriously.
One night of playing, bro, for YouTube, for the culture. Oh man,
that'd be a lot of fun.
Romp says Geek will foul out in 1 minute.
We're gonna spread that 1 minute out though. It's gonna be a good 1 minute.
Yeah, man.
So what's going on with tomorrow, man? I'm calling a loss right now.
We have a back-to-back?
Yeah, dude. Play the Knicks tomorrow on a 9-game winning streak going into Madison Square Garden. You know the refs aren't going to give us anything again. I want to see the Suns come out and just pedal to the fucking metal and go balls out and go up 20-4 to start the game.
Look, man, normally we don't hit our vapes on screen, but I'm actually stressed out to the point where I need to take the file for them.
This team is a half step behind on everything on defense recently. I said all year long that we're going to see their best basketball in the last 10 to 15 games. Maybe they're pulling back and they're not showing some things, but they're not playing well right now.
Burner says, even if Blazers Uprise win, Gabe could always send them to the basement. Exactly. See, that would be the whole thing. It's just to lure them close enough to my basement, and then other things start falling into place, and they're trapped, So that is
no, Roy. No, I do not flop. I am physical in the game, man. I'm the one that commits the hard fouls. Are you kidding me?
Are they saying you'd be flopping like Blake?
Hell no. I would never flop unless the game was on the line and he's coming down the lane. I'm going to try to take a charge, but that ain't flopping either. Man. Hell no. You don't flop in real games. You only flop in NBA games when you're a fake big guy like Blake Griffin.
When you have refs to bail you out. Like, if you flop on somebody and pick up, everyone's going to look at you like, shoot for it.
Bro, seriously. So, Knicks game tomorrow. I am looking forward to see Julius Randle and DA match up against each other.
I had that thought today. I thought, this is a fun day, Don't even have to wait until nighttime, and I get to watch great basketball, and I get to watch Kevin Durant. I was excited to watch Kevin Durant until he went ape shit on us and had, no rust on him. I kind of think that way, hey, it'll be fun to watch Julius Randle. Will it? Will it be fun to watch Julius Randle tomorrow?
It'll be fun to watch him. It's not going to be fun to watch him coupled with the refs. That's what's not going to happen. I got another hot take for later in the show, by the way, that you're not going to like.
About what?
I don't think the Suns get out of the second round of the playoffs.
Really?
I think we're too young, too inexperienced. We're relying on Cam Johnson and Mikal to do big things when they've shown the inexperience, and I think the refs are going to win a lot of games. I'm so terrified about seeing refs in the playoffs. Gabe, you get a real trap game.
Literally a trap game. They go and score the final bucket, lay it up left-handed, and then the floor drops out, and they just fall straight into the basement. Oh, man. That hurts my heart, though, hearing you say that we're not going to get out of the second.
This game, the the Milwaukee timeout, we've seen some unreal shit this year.
You know what we should do, man? We should put together a little compilation of the refs screwing the Suns.
If I had the time, I would love to go back to all these games, rewatch them, and just show the proof, and then show the calls that we're not getting that they're getting, in the same game.
We got to do that. We got to do that.
I wish somebody could do that. I wish somebody could do that.
I'll take the clips. You piece them together. Salty does the voiceover. Geeks in the basement, banging, let me out, and we won't let him out. He's not getting out. He's not getting out, folks. Don't worry. So
yeah, I just don't see us getting out of the second round, man.
Let me pull it up. I don't know, man. It depends on matchups.
Dude, we ain't getting foul calls with Luka, playing against Fat Boy Luka. Whenever we meet the Lakers or the Clippers, come on, man, you know what's going on. And I don't know if you remember early in the season, I was like, man, I hope to God that we don't have the 3 seed when we were the 3 seed. I hope we drop to 4 so we can play the Jazz in the second round. That'd be the only team I feel comfortable against. And I wasn't wrong. Sadly, I wasn't wrong. I'm still not wrong. I hate that I'm not wrong. But if we got to go up against any of those teams, it's just, dude, we can't win. The NBA won't let us. They're going to come out and they're going to throw a delay a game technical on Booker in the first minute.
It's like a vendetta, man. They have an actual jihad against the Suns. I just don't get why. I mean, we always talk about the Robert Horry hip check. Dude, how many times does it have to happen before something changes? Fuck these refs.
I thought getting Chris Paul or somebody of that stature would help
Do
with the
we
refs.
have to go to the playoffs and experience it before they'll give us like when I went and got my car, right? I finally got my credit up, right? It was like almost getting close to 800, right? Like high sevens. I'm walking in there, bro, like King Kong. So confident. And I get into the room and they're like, yeah, you've got great credit, but you don't have any car credit. Come again? Car credit? And that's what this feels like. They're like, yeah, you're a good team, Suns. You're doing good. But you don't have any playoff credibility. Therefore, they still gave me the car and everything, but you know what I'm saying? Like I had to really fight for it.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with us, man. Like, yeah, we know you guys are what you are, but we can't give you calls. You haven't been there. How could we give you a call that's rightfully yours if you haven't already won in the playoffs? Like, how can we give you a job fresh out of college if you don't have any experience? Well, how can I get experience if I don't get a job? Exactly. You're not from Brooklyn. You're not from LA. Stay on the ground. Delay of game.
My man.
Fucking heated, bro. I didn't expect to be this mad about a loss to Brooklyn, man.
It's not the loss to Brooklyn, which, that doesn't help. It's the refs, man. It's how we lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vlogs is right. I bet you Booker gets ejected in a playoff game. What game was it that Monty got tossed? It was like the second quarter. Monty's like, I'm not putting up with this shit. Call the fucking fair game. Was it Minnesota?
I think it was.
But it's just it's so consistent. It's so consistent. And it's happened all season. Literally all goddamn season.
I think it's more than likely that the referees have had conversations about players in the league that they dislike.
Well, they did it with Rasheed Wallace back in the day, dude. He could look at him the wrong way and he'd get a tech.
I think Booker has gotten himself on that list because he's so fiery, and Luka should be right there on the list with him, but he's not because he's the golden child of the NBA. You know?
Can't stand that shit, man. Because then when they don't get a call and a Giannis or LeBron complains, they get the call next time.
Man.
It's a shitty reality to live in it as a Suns fan, isn't it? We can have this type of season, but this is the stuff that breaks us down. The Jamal Murray shit. The Gary Harris. Didn't even touch him. They go back and review it. And still.
That Giannis timeout, where in the meantime the ball is flying to PJ Tucker, they're able to call a timeout.
The foul on Frank Kaminsky when he was guarding Giannis, where Giannis is pushing his arm away and he goes up with it and they call a foul on Frank.
How about that call on Frank against KD tonight?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When he went up for just like a mid-range shot, never touched him and they called it. Chris Paul goes and shoots a 3 and falls and they don't call that.
This is depressing. Color me depressed. Officially. And you're right. It's not even about the performance. It's just about the inevitability. It's like, you know what I really wanted to get a clip of was Thanos' speech from Endgame.
I am inevitable, that one.
Yeah.
You could go with Agent Smith from Matrix inevitability talk too.
Hell yeah. I'm thinking of when Thanos is like, you know, all of this, and look where it brought you. Right here back to me. All of this, bro. We get the right GM. We get the right point guard. We play the right way. We're not a stacked super team, but we're still good enough. And where did it lead us? Right back to the Robert Horry hip check.
Oh.
Something coming in the mail? Whoop. All right, guys. I mean, tell me in the chat, are we just being salty? Or are we just being babies? Are you guys this pissed about the refs too? I really want to know that, because I will shut up about the refs if need be. Iverson says, even though we should have been in the situation with Charlotte, but when Booker got fouled at the 3-point line, yeah, he got that call. You there, Coach? His battery died on his computer. Interesting. Well, I'm going to pull up the stats. Or I'm going to pull up the scores starting, actually. I've been meaning to do this.
Am I here?
You're here, Coach. So, Trailblazers lose. Shout out to Blazers Uprise. We feel for you guys.
There we go.
I did not expect the Trailblazers to be this close to 500 this late in the season. Did you?
Not even close.
I felt like a dickhead earlier in the year when I told Tori, I was like, yo, if you guys just hang on, or like, you guys will be fine. You'll be like 5, 6, 7, 8. You'll be fine, man. Nobody wants to. And I feel like they kind of took me saying that. He didn't say anything, but I felt like it could have been misconstrued as like me being a dick, like, oh, you guys are a low seed. But it's like, that's actually kind of happening.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just not used to hearing Suns people talk like that, and Suns people aren't used to talking like that, you know? Iverson says, so are we third now?
No, we're still second because we have a better percentage and they've played 2 more games than us, but we're on that precipice, man.
We are really seriously right within getting overtaken by the Clippers.
And then you've got New York, the Clippers, and the Jazz coming up.
Every time the Jazz lose a game they're not supposed to lose, we go out and lose.
Yeah,
like
every time.
Work, dude. Look at this conference. 21-10. We've got 3 more conference wins than Phoenix or than the Jazz. That's crazy.
We've played 3 more though.
They've had such an easy schedule, especially to wind down this season, dude. Nuggets hanging in there at 4.
Yep. They're not going away even without Jamal Murray. They ain't going away. So many things can happen in these last, the 12, 13 games?
Yeah.
So many things can happen. That's why all season I'm just on to the next game. Like this damn game with New York, dude, I didn't think would be so big. It's huge. We lose, dude. Clippers don't play tomorrow. We lose. We're officially out of the 3rd or 2nd place.
Fuck.
Playing the Mavericks, who are hot right now.
Oy, oy, oy,
yeah, not a lot of other games that affect us tonight.
Let's take a look at tomorrow. 6:30. You know, I had a bad feeling about today's game because it was an early day game. Like it was 2:30 Central. It didn't seem like it bothered them.
Because they've been in New York for like the past 2 or 3 days. So I really wasn't too worried about it. Which is the bright side of playing the Knicks tomorrow, I guess, is that, you know, you're not traveling from Philly or Orlando or something, right? You're at least there in New York. It's probably a bus ride from where they're staying.
You know the Knicks are going to give us their best shot.
They're on fire right now, dude.
They are
They're
9-game winning streak. So
did you all see all those Knicks fans just going crazy after wins now?
Yep.
And somebody brought up, why don't the Suns do that? Like, it's been years. Like, that's kind of right. Why don't we do that? I guess we're not arrogant douchebags, for one.
Yeah.
If Alfred Payton comes in and gives us the business tomorrow, I'm just going to quit. I'm going to quit the podcast.
I won't let you quit the podcast. But
I mean, they haven't freaking played anybody, though. Their last 9 games, get this, last 9 games that they've won, starting with yesterday: Toronto, Atlanta, Charlotte, New Orleans, Dallas, New Orleans, Lakers, Toronto, Memphis. All teams we could beat. They haven't played anybody. Dallas was the best one that they've played.
Wow. Matchup predictors, 70% Phoenix win, 30% New York.
Oh, no. That's never good for us.
Wow. So
I mean, we are the better team. We should. I don't know.
Did you notice Dario being gone at all? Was there even a moment in the game where you said, I'd like to see Dario?
I enjoyed seeing Frank playing there more than Dario. Could you believe that? I missed Jay Crowder, though. I missed Jay Crowder.
Yeah. When Mikhail's that bad from 3.
Dude, we need to get hot, man. We need to get hot. Or Devin Booker needs to be going off for 50.
No-Nos calls a W.
I hope so, man. I hope you're right.
I'm with No-Nos.
I mean, here's the thing with them. Their starting 5 features former Phoenix Sun Reggie Bullock, who got 16 the other night. Julius Randle, obviously, RJ Barrett, Alfred Payton, and Nerlens Noel. Absolutely in no way should that 5 beat us. Ever.
No,
period.
ever,
point blank.
Ever.
Their guys coming in are Emmanuel Quickly, who is pretty dope, Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, and Obi Toppin.
He's still alive?
He came back this year, yeah.
Obi, how's Obi doing this year?
You know, I don't know what. I really liked him coming out of the draft. I hope there was a way that we could have gotten him somehow. 4 points per game.
Are you serious?
Ugh. I didn't expect that.
Just say, man, bro, I haven't been hearing anything about Obi Toppin.
Derrick Rose is on a tear. He scored 19 the other night. RJ Barrett scored 25. Julius Randle is doing ungodly things.
So, Coach, I mean, this was our first real back-to-back loss, like losing streak of the season.
Anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, we definitely don't count the Murray Truffle Shuffle.
Right. I said this 7-game streak, this 7-game series, I would be happy if we went 4-3. That holds true. With New York, LA, and Utah, I will be happy if we win 2 of these 3 games. It's not like us to lose back-to-back, so that bodes well for us. I think Vegas must know something about this game that we're going to beat them. I don't know.
Arguably the top 5 teams in the East we just played. Boston is 6, but I expect them to be ahead of the Hawks by year's end. So the top 5 seeds in the Eastern Conference and the other top 2 seeds in the Western Conference. So arguably the top 7, some of the top 7 teams in the NBA. Brutal that we couldn't stretch these teams out a little bit more. Thanks a lot, NBA schedule.
I know.
But
I think we're going to be good. I'm going to call a win. Salty, when you see this, bro, if you will leave a comment so we have your official.
They need to come out hot tomorrow, dude. They need to come out with something under their ass tomorrow. If they come out lackadaisical again, I'll start pressing the panic button. Because of the time of year it is. If we come out and we drop it by 16, 18, 20, and we just didn't show heart through some of it, I'll officially press the panic button.
Man. That's not like
No,
us.
that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I'm going to press the panic button. Because there'll be 11, 12 games left in the season, man. It's getting real, y'all. The fun is over. Fun is over. Real time begins. This is when you start showing your true colors.
You called it, man. We're in our last 15 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by your words, they should be playing their best basketball. I saw some of their best basketball tonight. They looked really good tonight.
12 games left, unless they're holding things back, which they could do because every other team said, they like what Romp said, they don't really care about the regular season. They just want to get to the postseason. So they could, but it's scaring me.
Kind of want to hear Monty.
Hey, Monty, what are your overall thoughts on the game today?
Well, obviously, giving up 128 points is not something that, we are used to doing. I thought our third quarter defense was below our standards, and I get Kevin Durant started, but he had 38 points in the third. I thought that was a bit of a deflator for us. And then again, we didn't generate enough threes, but we shot 12 for 34. But that number doesn't bother me as much as, we just missed a lot of open shots. Couldn't take advantage of the open looks that
we couldn't keep up with their pace, man. They never stopped making their shots, and we did in the fourth.
Kind of offense you need in moments. We scored 119 points, but a lot of those points were, long twos, or twos in the paint that weren't by the rim. We have to be able to generate threes and take advantage of the area at the rim. I didn't think we did that well enough tonight. And then, two guys had really good nights for them. And their other guys, really physical on defense. I thought that took a toll on us, their ability to put their hands on us a little bit. But, we got a chance tomorrow to get a win and make this a winning trip. So that's where my mind is right now.
With the level that Kevin and Kyrie were playing at, can this game be a good example for you guys of how small the margin of error can be against teams like this sometimes?
No doubt.
Yeah, man, if we win, it's 3-2 on the road trip. I'll take it.
And, they had not easy buckets, but they were able to score and cut the lead to 2 points at halftime. I thought that was a huge moment for us. And then we came out third and gave up 38 points. And so when you're playing against two guys like that with that much talent, it's hard to overcome the lack of scoring. And in that moment right before halftime where we couldn't get enough stops and score, I thought we could have, if we could have scored and got stopped, we could have gone into halftime with the double-digit lead.
Yeah.
Instead, we went in with a 2-point lead. I thought that kind of changed.
That really did change it, didn't it, Coach?
Yep.
It's a drilled brigade with fan-sided and then Dwayne Rankin.
All right, man. I got to jump off, unfortunately, you guys. I love y'all. Like, share, all that stuff. We'll see y'all soon. Cheers.
The ones that you did get,
Later, Coach.
a couple of them were pretty wide open and just weren't fault. On the road, is that, tired legs and being on the road trip? Is that just one of those flukish one-game things, or what are you seeing from it?
Well, it's 2 games in a row. We've had a lot of wide open looks. We haven't been able to knock them down. So that means we're due. That's how I see it. When this team shoots like that, 2 games in a row, you get a bit excited because right around the corner you should have a night where.
Believe me, I don't have more hair than Javon Carter.
Thinking about not taking shots. I thought we had more open looks.
It looks bad if I try to grow it out, so I just take it all off.
We can't be a team that turns down open looks. Our MO has always been let it fly. But you're right. We had a number of open looks tonight. We just couldn't knock them down.
Cam and Mikhail have obviously struggled the last couple of games on that front with guys that can knock down those looks in your coaching career. Guys are going to go through slumps. They're going to get hot over this long season. is there anything that you can kind of do to help them snap out of it, or is that just one of those things where, like you're saying, it's going to happen eventually?
No, it's going to happen, but I can just continue to encourage them like I do.
Yeah,
our dad
Roy,
does.
it doesn't look like
Trust
he's
me,
coming back next
you know,
game. I think
reps
it's going to
will
be a
doubt.
little while.
And the guys have gotten their reps in. It happens to everybody over the course of the season and your career. You're going to run into moments in your career or seasons or a week or so or a couple games where you don't knock down shots, but you have to trust all the work that you put
I think
in.
mine did. I don't know.
Encourage guys to take shots when they present.
Needs a fresh shave, though.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Nick King.
If we win the finals, grow your hair out, bro. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, he's pretty efficient.
I would do. That'd be better than having to get a
You know, 4
tattoo.
for
But
5 from 3. I'm glad he took those looks from the 3-point line. Not only that, I thought, you know, defensively he was, you know, locked in on that side of the ball, but it was good to see him, you know, knock down some buckets tonight against some physical, athletic defenders. They had all kinds of guys on him tonight, and you know, he was the one guy that he and Da was 9 for 12, Devin was 12 for 24. Like those guys were pretty sound on offense.
DA was sound. Should have got way more touches.
Game off the bench, but just you can just speak to what was when you don't have Jay and then you don't have Dario, how big they would have been in a game like this. What was missing without those two out there?
Well, you know, I don't want to play that game. I think it's we know what those guys bring to the table. We were a bit short-handed, but you know, Frank has played well for us this year, and we've won games with him. And so that, you know, that's been our mantra, you know, and it's the mantra of the league. It's like next man up and believe you can go out there and win the game and be productive. Yes, we missed the versatility with Jay's physicality on defense and the shooting. Dario gives you rebounding and all the stuff that, you know, he does on offense, intangibles, screening, passing, and the shooting. But those guys have to get well. You know, we can't have them out there playing store. So, you know, we have what we have, and what we have is enough.
I think these guys could play. I really think that they could play, but they want to give them an opportunity to rest. It's like the first time we've given anybody any rest all season.
Final 2 questions are Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5, and Jacopo Di Francesco.
Monty, felt like things kind of got away maybe early to mid fourth quarter after I think it was a 5-point game going into the fourth. Anything during that stretch that sticks out to you is how it got away?
Not without looking at the film. When you have a team like that, 5-point deficit on the road, you know, you're feeling pretty good about your team. I have to look at the film, but scored 27 points in the fourth. But again, they had a 31-point quarter. You know, I think we gave up 3 30-point quarters tonight. That's hard to overcome on the road.
Yeah, man, we gave up so many points tonight. And I know that's the Nets' MO, but fuck.
To tie it or make it a closer game. Even when it was around, you know, 10-12 in the fourth, I just felt like it was 20 because we weren't.
I saw that, Iverson. Man, I was hoping that would drop for him, get him some confidence. He needs to come in more than 1 minute left in the fourth.
Hi, Coach. Do you feel like you should have played more with Ayton in the paint, maybe especially in the third quarter, seeing the matchups?
Yeah, we tried, but, you know, he got into foul trouble, and that hurt us. The one thing that they were doing pretty well was they were bringing their low man over when he was at the rim and taking him out. We were passing it to open shooters, and we couldn't knock down shots. So even though he didn't get the ball, he generated offense for us. And that's what he does. You know, his dives at the rim usually lead to production on the backside. So just one of those games where you wish you could have taken advantage of it more because he was pretty efficient tonight. He was 9 for 12 from the field. You know, that's a really good night for defense.
Later, Roy.
All right, Book. First up is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Thanks, Palmer. But Devin, just your assessment of today's game. You guys had an early lead in Brooklyn. You know,
This should be good, right?
Late third, and just your assessment of how the game went.
It was a dogfight. Obviously, they're a very talented team that's playing well. Like you said, I feel like we started off pretty well. They just continue to make shots. I think we had a lot of miscommunications on a lot of our switches, and that's that.
Quick follow. You talked about having a winning record on a road trip, what makes a successful one. You guys got a chance to do that tomorrow against the Nets, and just how much the mindset is. Hey, look, let's finish the road trip the right way and get a win tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the last thing we said when we broke it down in the locker room. So, we're gonna be ready for tomorrow.
I think Book's gonna go
Meet your next
off.
pillow.
I think Book's gonna go off for
Why do we
like,
make our
honest
pillow
to
in the
God,
shape of a
like
cube?
50. You can just see it. He finally started getting his game back today. And then tomorrow he's going to be
Hey, Book, there was
in the
a stretch at the end
Garden
of the
where
first half
everybody
where you
loves
guys
to
were up
play
by
and show
13,
out.
and then it's 2 at halftime.
Either that or it's going to be a
Stretch you
Donovan
look
Mitchell
at as a team
performance.
and realize the margin of error against teams like this.
Yeah, teams can make you pay.
How many points do you guys think he scores tomorrow versus the Knicks?
Something that we've been working on.
I'm going to say 40. Minimum 40.
Poor with it today. Going into half, it would have been a lot better been holding that lead.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Hugh Hopkins.
Hey, Book. Monty has talked the last couple days.
42 from Lake City.
Not only the physical stamina,
71 from Burner. That would be the shit, especially in New York.
Well, as someone who's kind of going through this part of the season in this type of playoff race for the first time, just what are you learning about what it takes to just have just that mental stamina as a team, like every single game, especially on a tough road trip like this?
You just have to be locked in. You have to be ready for the matchup. Every night. There's no nights off in this league.
Sticks. Sticks won't even play for more than 33 seconds, bro. Are you kidding me?
It's not just going to walk up on us and creep up
I mean, think of all the people that were missing tonight, and he got to come in garbage time with 1 minute left.
Hi, Buck. Thanks for talking to us today. The best teams in the league this season are shooting efficiently from three, the most efficiently in the league. In this game, you only shot 35% from three. So how important is it to the rest of the game and the rest of your game when threes are going down?
Oh, yeah, that's what the game has turned into.
Forgot to say that Book had a great three-point shooting tonight. Hit a couple of open threes, which you never see.
Nights where we've hit a lot of shots, but it's not always going to be like that. We've always said we want to rely on our defense and get stops, and that was kind of a trouble for us tonight. But that's what we try to rely on night in and night out.
Iverson, apparently he's not proving it in practice because he cannot get Monty to trust him.
What do you need to improve coming into the playoffs? What is something that you've been working on, you as a team?
Pretty much everything. It varies night to night, closing out games, closing out quarters, and just being consistent, on the defense. And I think offensively we'll be in pretty good shape. But if we rely on our defense, that puts us even better shape.
All right, Tori, we're
The man,
with the Arizona Republic.
Craig.
Want a lawn that looks like this?
Like, how do you get an ad every 30 seconds? Here we go.
Real quick, 2 things, Tori. First, there was a stretch there. You guys had a 13-point lead, and they got cut down to 2 at the half. And then they got up 5, I'd say, in the third, and they stretched it out to 16. How significant were those 2 stretches and towards what happened today?
They were huge. For us, when we get a lead, we got to learn to play.
I don't care if this dude is a Dodgers fan for real.
And just not.
I don't really want to see him wearing an LA hat. Am I wrong?
Those guys, man, they made plays, they made shots the whole game, and they were the better team tonight.
Quick follow, saw the end of the game against Boston with you and Tristan, and then you respond today, or you come back today and get 22 short of your career high. Did any of that from the other game play into how you played today or not?
No.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Gina Mizell.
Hey, Tori, to the stretch that Dwayne was talking about with your years in Denver and making deep playoff runs, how important are those types of stretches for teams to have success?
They're critical. those type of stretches can win or lose you games. So
Man,
especially in the playoffs.
what kind of questions are these, bro?
possession
I'd be asking like,
matters. Every
I don't
play
know,
matters.
like
So,
how have you improved your shot so
just use
much?
this game
Because
and learn
it is
from it and,
clearly
try
falling
to
now
come
in a
tomorrow.
way that it wasn't before. Are you doing anything
Next is Jay
different?
Mizell with Suns.com, and then Hugh.
Were you,
Hopkins.
Mac?
Hey, Tori, to
Some
kind of that
terrible
point
questions,
overall,
bro.
just now 4 out of 5 games in
And
this
no
road
interviewing
trip,
sticks,
just
right?
what do you
Bullshit.
feel like you guys are learning as a group, or what you have learned over the past week that's going to help you down the stretch?
That's a good question.
I think a big thing for us is finishing quarters, the end of quarters, not letting
Great
teams go
answer.
on a run at the end of quarters, maintaining the lead going into halftime, and then coming out in those first couple of minutes of the third quarter, kind of setting a tone and playing from there. We have the tendencies to let teams go on runs toward the end of the quarters or the end of the halves. So I think we do a better job in that category. That helps a lot.
Next is Hugh Hopkins with Sky Sports, and then Jacopo Di Francesco.
Hi, Tori. Thanks for talking to us today. 3-point shooting was important in the loss tonight. I mean, you hit 2 out of 4, and you're shooting really well since you joined Phoenix. You're above 50% since you joined the team. So, how important is it having good passes?
Seriously,
to get the ball to you in the right spot as a shooter.
With Fundrise, the
All
same
right.
kind of real estate investment.
If those questions were any better than that, we'd be able to continue, but those questions are freaking terrible. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us, man. You guys are true Suns obsessed geeks, if you will. I'm not gonna lock you in the basement, but you know you are. And so am I. And man, we just love this team. And even in a loss, we can sit here and just hang out together and just chat. Watch these dudes take terrible questions, because what's really going on in the world that's more important to us than the Phoenix Suns? I can't think of really anything outside of my family that's more important than the Phoenix Suns. So I appreciate you guys being with us. We got the Knicks tomorrow. I'm calling a win. I think Coach is calling a win. We're going to find out from Salt. And I think Book's going to have a good game. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow night. Tomorrow evening, tomorrow night after that W. So we can actually celebrate again. 2 losses hits different, doesn't it? First time it's happened all season, it hits different. But we're going to be back tomorrow after a great win against the Knicks. And tomorrow night I'll be able to say that Suns win, Suns win.
Let's get ready to rumble! Barkley 24, .5. Book on the crossover, gets inside and hammers it down.